All right, welcome to another episode of the Pinpoint Investor podcast. My name is Faisal Morsi. I'm excited for our next guest, Richard Amaya, who I've known for a couple years now. Good friend of mine. He's a contractor and an investor and all-around good guy. Appreciate you being on, Rich.
Thanks for having me, Faisal. I'm excited, man.
Absolutely, same. So we're doing something different this time. Instead of like going into like Richard's backstory and all that, because nobody really cares. Gonna try something new and just do like actual like practical like hands-on applicability of estimating an actual flip, and then Rich is gonna break down a deal as he would analyze it as an investor too. So appreciate you doing this for us, Rich.
I'm excited, man. Let's do it.
All right, go ahead and take the wheel, man.
Cool. So I had a property sent this morning. Let me see if I can share the screen. 1 second. We'll work on this. Is the screen up? Can you see it?
Yeah, that's the estimator.
Okay, perfect. So I had this property, 7 Terrace in Essex, sent to me. Let's take a look at the photos. I mean, off rip, I can tell that this is a bathroom, right? It's a small one, has to be gutted. So it's either a shower right here or regardless, it's a half bath, but
Hmm.
interesting. Let me also add in uh, that I usually like to estimate every bathroom. It's going to cost you around five. So
Okay.
when I see bathrooms, I know I'm already starting off at 5K. But that's just me already in my mind knowing I'm starting there. So let me go through it. I can't really tell right now if there is a basement or not. I know in Essex at times there are one floors, but on Terrace Road, uh, I think this one has a basement, but we'll find out. Already, I can see shades on the roof of repairs on the shingles. Um, so I'm estimating that if I am looking to get what the wholesaler sent me, let me take a look, see if I can bring it up. It's already telling me that it's shooting for a 300 ARV, and they're trying to sell it for 165K. So for 300 ARV in that area, I would replace the roof. I want to be able to say new roof when I go to sell it. Um, I personally am going to paint these awnings only because I don't want to mess with the siding. That's just what I look at. Let me see. Yeah, there's a driveway, so that's a plus. The garage, it looks like it has no doors, so that could be an expense coming up. A door that size could be anywhere like 1,500 to 2 grand. So things like that I look at already. The bones look solid in this one. Just looking at it, I see the textured ceilings, so we're gonna laminate the ceilings for sure. Rip out the carpet. Wonder if they. One thing I always like to see if I can tell by photos is if there's vinyl windows or aluminum windows.
How can you tell?
Just by looking at them, honestly. But here I can't because they have curtains on them. But the thing about it is, if they're vinyl, I'm salvaging them. Uh, Based on just I can take them to get glass repaired down in Middle River at Hodges. Saves me a ton, less material, less installation. Uh, Roughly about $110 to replace glass, or you pay $370 to install a new one. I mean, you're talking
Huge
about
difference.
200% saving. And if it's dirty or if it's smoked with nicotine, I'm sorry, if there's nicotine marks left over all over it, okay, get a very good deep cleaner that knows what they're doing. You could salvage those vinyl windows. But I can't tell from here. It's a very small house. I always try to open it up as much as I can. But on this one, I'm not too sure I can open it up because this wall, without looking at the other photos, might be the kitchen wall. And if it's a smaller kitchen, I'm going to need this wall for cabinet space. Let me see. Good bones. On this one, you might be able to save the trim and baseboard as well. So I usually tell my clients that I always tell people budget around 1,000 material and installation for baseboard and trim per floor. So if it's a 2 level house, budget 2,000. If it's a 1 level, I'm budgeting $1,000 here. Um, I see 6 panel doors, and I also see another style of door. Now, my my style is I like everything to be aesthetically pleasing and uniformed. So I'm gonna switch out either all those doors and they're all gonna be 6 panel, or I'm gonna upgrade them all to 2 panel. Most likely, I'm going to switch it all out to 6 panel though. I see two panels right here, one right here, one right here, and I see a 6 panel. I just don't like anything that's not aesthetically pleasing. I automatically just uniform it up. So that would be one of them. Here's a full bath. This is the best layout you're going to get in these small houses. Don't try to switch it up. I wouldn't. I mean, in the sense of, oh, let's move this. Let's tear down a wall. It's a 5x8 bathroom. This is what you're going to get in a small house. 24-inch vanity. We're going to get a new toilet and a new tub. Some people like to reglaze it, but for this small house in a 300 ARV, your best bet, and what I would do is I'm tiling the floor, I'm tiling the shower area, I'm getting a new, more aesthetically pleasing tub, a new toilet, and a new 24-inch vanity, mirror, vanity lights. So again, another 5K for that bathroom. I don't think this is the bathroom we saw at first either.
No, I agree.
There's an exhaust fan there, which is very important to us. We always like to do things right. So a lot of times you won't have an exhaust fan in the bathroom, but I sorry, I thought they were honking at me. But I'm not doing this bathroom, redoing it, and not adding an exhaust fan. There has to be an exhaust fan, man. Um, again, good bones. Obviously, there's going to be a paint job. I've seen enough. Again, another 2 panel door. I know some people are like, it's just a door, repaint it. This isn't a rental though to me. So aesthetically, I'm not going to get dinged by a buyer or lose a buyer because I decided to go cheap on doors. For my pricing, I know I'm replacing and installing doors at $300 a door. So they add up. If you have 10 doors you have to replace, $3,000. So they do
And
add up.
so what I get from that is like when you're analyzing a deal as a flip, you want it to be better high end, more high end than like a rental. With the rental, you're just going to keep the doors the way they are because it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, with the rentals, I would have replaced that one 6 panel door
Okay,
and found a 2 panel from an old house that I have,
got it.
and painted everything else. Uh, but you also have to look at it like the doorknob situation is tricky too. I'm circling it here. This isn't your standard doorknob way hole that people are accustomed to now. So to keep these, it's actually going to be trickier, probably more meticulous for your workers because they have to cut it correctly and they have to go on this side and open up the opening. So I personally am just buying a pre-hung, easier for the worker, more aesthetically pleasing, rip and run.
All right, can you tell
Which
people
is
what pre-hung means?
pre-hung means that we're taking off the framing of the door, not just the slab of the door. So the molding inside of it is coming off. We are literally already buying a door that has a frame at the top and coming down the sides with wood. The door is already installed with the hinges, and we're putting the frame in place to the framing for it, basically. So we're
What's the
taking
price
the
difference
entire.
there?
What'd you say?
What's the price difference there?
So if you just did the slab, you could buy a slab for like 110, I believe.
Okay.
And if not, I think the pre-hung doors go for about 160 now to 165. So right there, I personally think time is money. I'm not wasting time drilling that hole when I'm flipping a house. I'm just buying it pre-hung.
And then with it, let's say you kept it as a rental, would you just keep those doorknobs?
Yeah, I would take the time there and I would just cut in the new doorknob hole. Keep that door, paint it, everything stays.
Got it.
Only time I switch it out, honestly, in a rental, when there's severe damage or chipping. At that point, I have to replace the slab. I'm not doing the whole frame.
Okay.
And again, the slab is about $100. So
Got it.
let me take a look. Yeah, bones look good in these, honestly. The baseboard looks solid. Unless I see some different baseboard along the house, I would try to salvage this baseboard as much as possible. The trim as well, as long as it's all uniformed. Once I see two different styles, has to go. That's just my philosophy.
Any like tips or advice for like wholesalers when taking these pictures? Are these the type of pictures that you want to see, or like is there anything specific that you'd like to see as you're going through these?
Well, some shots are the shots I want. It took him 2 shots to get it, but I think he's double working. Please take photos in 0.5 or as wide lens as possible. Uh, it looks like he or she, the wholesaler took these in one or like one times. So they had to double work. Honestly, for me, what's worked is the wide when you turn it to the side and it's wide at the same time. You get solid pictures that way. Um, and get in the room as much as you can and close the door behind you and just take it from the corner right there. But I think they did a solid job. It looks like on this one that they were rushing. Like they took this corner, they took another corner. I wonder what that was about. I would have wanted to see. Oh no, they broke it down in three. They did the rooms in three.
It really did. Yeah, it's crazy.
So, I mean, trust me, this is nowhere near bad. This is it could be a little bit double work. At least that's what I think. But
Yeah, agreed.
okay, so I see some paneling. To me, that got to go
So I
on a
can't
flip.
tell if we're going upstairs or we're going to the basement here.
I think we're going upstairs.
Okay.
I think we're going upstairs. There's a loft or something up here, but these walls, I can paint those. Not too much texture. It's a stairway wall. Don't really care for it, honestly. Um, this is borderline depending what the budget is. I'm not gonna lie. There are times where we rip this stinger off, and we put in something that's aesthetically pleasing. But this is the stairway hall, so walls. So I'm not too worried about this one. Now, this stuff up here is what I'm looking at. Like, there's a lot of movement already. So oh yeah, there's paneling on the. It looks like it's paneling, but I mean it's a tight space. But me personally, I am re-drywalling this. Why? In my mind, I'm thinking I skipped a step. I'm demoing this and then I'm drywalling it for 2 reasons. First of all, I'm gonna demo it to help out my duct guy. I'll run his duct. My plumber have to look at whatever he needs to look at. If we're looking to add a bathroom up here, who knows? And my electrician for his recess lighting, he'll make it easy. You know, it's already going to come down. So I'm just going to open it up and put up the new drywall so that it looks more modern, aesthetically pleasing. Uh, at least that's what I think. Give you a plus because this size is already small. So at least with the negative of the room being small, you get a positive of either the quality or it looks good. So the worst that you can do is have a small room and make it look cheap. That's a double negative at that point.
Agreed. Now, with you already redoing the roof, would you do something to this to this roof line, like add a dormer or like paint
Well,
it up or
that's a good question. I've seen it. I've seen some people do it. In this area, I'd have to check to see if it's worth it. If you're adding a couple dormers, I'd say you'd spend somewhere maybe I don't know, maybe an extra 7,500 to 10K for a dormer. But that's just on the construction side. What about the permits and the holding cost? So let's say you're all in for another, I don't know, another 2,500. Is it a 10K worth of extra spending going to be returned when you sell it? That's what the ARV is going to tell us. So here, though, uh, I wouldn't want to get into those complicated flips. If that's what it took for me to make money, that process, I'd pass. I don't think there's enough spread for me to go through that complication. I'd rather just what's already built, unless I'm adding an interior upgrade. Like let's say I'm adding a bathroom or framing out a bedroom inside where I'm not messing with the structure on the exterior, then I don't want to take it on unless it's just interior upgrades. Because
do
once you
you
get
have
exterior, mhm.
do you have like a rule of thumb, like I'll take on like an extra 10K to add a dormer if it makes me an extra 20K? Like, you have like a rule of thumb there, or no? It's just
Yeah, yes, if I'm investing 10K, I want 25K return. So 15K profit, basically, on top of my 10. Um, and I'm stern about it because I am in the mentality of I want money out next project. The longer it takes, the longer my money sits in there, and it's really about speed at that point. Like if it's profitable, trying to go from a $40,000 profit in 6 months, or I can do a what $30,000 profit in 3 months, but then I get into another one for another 25. I just did 55 in 6 months. So that's really how I like for the plays to go when I purchase a house. I would want to be in and out 3 months, 4 months, ideally. So I
And so are
wouldn't.
you less likely to take on like full gut jobs that need like permitting and you just want like some a little cleaner or what?
I personally like gutting my houses. I like making everything new. I have had success with it in the sense of my clients get to sell it, peace of mind when it's time for them to sell. The inspection report comes back pretty light because we do things right. Versus when you're connecting to existing, which can be profitable too. I know my resales have been extremely peaceful and easy for the agents that sell it because we did it right from the framing to the electrical to everything that's big ticket items. Basically, it was done correctly, and there are no surprises at the back end as far as the house. Now, if we got a septic in the back and I didn't check it or inspect it, that's a whole nother ball game. But or there's a foundation issue, that's that you probably couldn't see until after you demo. Like, who knows? Those
Hmm.
are things you can't see. A bad day in real estate is coming every now and then. So, but when it's, let's just say, your typical, we're renovating it, I prefer to gut trades. I prefer to gut plaster at times. I just want to make it aesthetically pleasing and have a good resale. But you got to buy right in order to do guts.
And so if like one of your clients, let's say, didn't buy right and they can't gut it and they just wanted to be like, more of like a lipstick job, do you just basically do what the client wants or like, hey, like as a contractor, it's kind of like my responsibility to let you know that come inspection time, there might be stuff that like we didn't touch that's going to come up on the inspection report.
Yeah. So I've come across different clients. Some of them want to do as little as possible. And I tell them straight up, that's fine. We can connect to existing. We'll paint and we'll throw LVP and paint cabinets and clean the appliances. However, come inspection time, there's no guarantee on any of the trades. All we did was switch out light switches and outlets. There is no guarantee on any of that. The only thing that we're guaranteeing is anything that we ran or touched, basically, or installed. So if the deal falls because the aluminum behind the wall uh, was dangerous, or I don't know, or the plumbing is cast iron, and here's a prime example, and the buyer's insurance company says they're going to charge an extra $600 a month just to insure the house because the house is 100 years old and they don't want to insure cast iron. Hey, that's it's on you at that point. I hate to tell you that's on you, but this is why I tell you up front. That's fine, but there's no guarantee. Uh, Now, when I gut everything, and you let's say we don't gut to the studs, right? Let's just say we're updating, but all the plumbing, the cast iron has to go out. They want to upgrade the electrical. They don't want to run aluminum anymore. They want us to upgrade that. And also, let's just say a swap out for the furnace and condenser unit for HVAC. All that stuff is guaranteed for a year. Like even come punch out time. Hey, some of the inspector had concerns on the panel. Okay, we'll take care of that. Use that as a negotiation tactic and let the buyer know, okay, don't worry, this is something we'll take care of. We'll take care of plumbing, we'll take care of HVAC. At that point, usually deals fall when, oh no, that's a big ticket item and we didn't touch that. So deals off. We're not repairing that. Well, you get peace of mind in the back end because you're like, you know what, we'll take on the big ticket item repairs and it's covered. I already paid for it.
Good call. And so like obviously the conversations are different from like when you're dealing with like a rookie investor, like someone who, is like obviously a seasoned investor. So do you just like walk people, especially the new ones, like through like the best and worst case scenario to like make them have them make their own educated decision?
Yeah, so I always offer them the listen. If you want me to connect to what exists is existing, that's fine too. You'll save money. It is what it is, but you'll be blaming me and the product and this and that. You'll be blaming everybody about why I didn't sell or why it keeps falling out of contract, and that's okay because you might sell it that way too. So it might work out. Uh, but I will tell you from success, experience of success, this is what has worked with other clients. And also, I mean, on the resale, the price reflects as well. If you're going for top ARV, I don't think you put out a low quality product. And that's usually what I tell them. I also tell them, uh, before you work with me, also know like you have only about 3 to 4% control of what happens in this house once I'm hired.
And what do you mean by that?
So streamlined approach when you hire us is we will use my material, my paint scheme, my color scheme, my light fixtures, my countertop, my cabinets, my material, MDH material, right? From there, you a client shouldn't come to me and tell me, "Hey, I want this backsplash. Hey, I don't like those light fixtures." With all due respect, I told you in the beginning, you have about 3% control. The control you have is number one, you hired me. You decided that. And the other one is how many beds and baths do you want? After that, we run the show.
And so are your design choices the same with like $150,000 row home, compared to like a $750,000 house, or like how do you
Yeah.
determine like
So we're conscious about that. Like for example, small things that will add. We don't do backsplashes often, I'll be honest. In anything that's below 450,000, we don't do backsplashes.
why?
Well, our entire philosophy on why we renovate houses the way we do is first of all, you have to impress the client, make it a clean renovation, and show quality. Backsplashes, to me, are a personal choice for the client. If you install a backsplash, they now have to demo it if they don't like it, and then they have to pay for somebody to install it. If we don't install a backsplash, they get to decide for themselves without the demo phase. Plus, through experience, nobody that loves the house and really wants to buy it is going to not buy the house because of a backsplash. You spend
True.
about $900 labor and material on doing it probably. Are you really going to get that $1,000 return on it? I mean, from experience, houses without backsplashes have sold all the time. I don't think a backsplash is a decision maker. How do we determine what's a decision maker in a renovation? Will you not buy the house because of that? If you put in a $9 square foot backsplash, but they don't like the layout, that backsplash is not saving that deal.
Agreed.
So that's how we do it. And the light fixtures and stuff, they're pretty basic. We use industrial looks. Black is what we use, so you can't go wrong with matte black. Honestly, it's timeless. But what we do upgrade when we go into those 450 or higher houses, we'll use 5-inch baseboard. We'll use 2-panel doors. Um, our niche in the bathrooms, they go from 1 box to 2 boxes. Like we'll upgrade a little more. Your vanity selection gets upgraded as well. Everything else below 450, we use stock, bulk items. But off white is our color scheme with black accent fixtures and hardware with a natural wood floor. So our entire philosophy there is number one, the paint is is light enough to where if the homeowner wants to change any room, any bathroom or the living room color, it's light enough to paint over. Okay. And we like to leave a, a little bit of imagination for the clients, for the homeowners to love the house and then make it their own. that battle of, oh no, I sell houses sell when they're ready now. With you have everything custom and ready now versus at stock house, but the quality was good. I would say they compete hand in hand, but one has less headache than the other. Uh, it sells, it sells. Plus, I don't know how to explain it, but it just works where you do enough. The flooring looks good, the painting looks good, the baseboard is on point, the carpentry is on point, the quality is solid. But you aren't adding accent walls, or let's say you don't do a backsplash, or you don't pick the most custom or busiest tile, it still sells without that stuff. So you got to make a decision. Are you selling to custom homeowners, or are you selling as an investor, basically? Like, do you just want to get in and get out with a quality product, or do you want to be the top product on the market? So you just got to make a decision at that point.
All right, so if someone's like, I don't know, I want to add an accent wall here, but they want to work with you. What do you do? Do you just have them bring like another crew in after you're done and be like, here you go, or like,
Yeah. So here's what we do, and we do it to deter it from this, okay? Because we like to rip and run on to the next project. We thankfully, and I say in a humbling way, we have projects waiting. So we're trying to get in, get out without compromising quality. So I will take on that accent wall, but at that point, I am going to charge probably a little too much on purpose to deter it. And I say this to be honest because I really don't want to do this. And then on top of that, it will be our design. And we're going to paint it the same color that we painted our wall. I'm not adding a different color. So everything, again, goes back to simple, rinse and repeat. So you will get the box accent wall from us. It will be $1,500, regardless of the size. And it will be alabaster paint. If you really want that accent wall, I'm charging you $1,500 for it, which to me, I think it's high, but I need to move my crew. And at the same time, I don't think that's going to make or break your sale. But if you really want this, then this is what I will do it for. Or you can always hire somebody else after I get out of the house.
right? And yeah, working with you, like I know that's how you are.
Yeah,
We've worked on several projects, and I mean, it sells. It's like cookie cutter. I don't want to say it's it just doesn't have like a bunch of like wow factors to it. But I think what adds the personality to it is the staging. Because like most of the time, like the staging is that like the pop of color and like what brings like a flip, to make it feel like a home.
exactly. And that's where
Um,
I go into. I think staging covers that pop piece basically. Staging
Agreed.
makes it pop. The other stuff, you have to let the clients use their imagination. If they love the base product, they will imagine the rest.
Yeah, agreed. And shout out Studio A for staging a couple of our recent clips. So thanks,
Yeah,
Andy.
they're solid. They're really good.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's keep this moving.
All right. So from there, we're looking at this. Definitely getting rid of this art.
I don't know, I
Well,
kind
we're
of like
demoing
that.
everything, so that's gone. The floor is gone. Solid space. I don't think I have room to add a bathroom. I'll be honest.
I agree.
Solid space though, definitely could be either a kid. It could be an extra room for sure. Somebody will sleep there. I see that there's an HVAC unit, a window unit. Looks like we're gonna need some duct work and
Mhm.
maybe upgrading the HVAC unit. Um, okay, yeah. Also, something else I'm gonna look at is I'm possibly gonna have to add insulation, and I usually budget 1,000 for insulation per floor. Now this is a room, but I still have to go from sidewall to sidewall, so I would budget for insulation on a 2 level. That's what it's looking like right now, a 2 level. Another room. Okay, so they have a little breakfast bar right here.
I think you do have an opportunity to open up that wall right there.
Yeah, there is opportunity. That first wall that we saw, look,
Hmm.
nice size kitchen.
Yeah.
Nice size kitchen. So we're already demoing the kitchen for sure. I have to update that to go for 300 ARV. You're going to spend about, let's just say 11 for a kitchen, including appliances, cabinets, installation, and countertop. Uh, Spend about 11. Let's just say you budget for that. Um, Look, another door is what I mean. Let me see. This is a living room, but they made it a room. They put a door there. Is there a door there? I'm not sure, but I think there is because of that middle molding. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm. This
Okay.
feels like the basement.
Yeah. Is it? Is there a step? No, it's the main floor again, right? But it does feel like a basement. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So that's an exterior door. It looks old. I see the wood paneling. Possibly replace that. Um, I'm gonna paint this entire area one color.
So what you said, this is the main floor?
I believe so. We're back in that
Do
main
they have
floor.
that? Oh, you're right, because there's the drop ceiling right there. Okay, I see it.
Now, I don't want to put. I'm not gonna say any names, but if this was the basement, I'm glad you mentioned that. Do whatever you can to move that basement back to the main floor.
What do you mean?
You try. You try to sell a house with the kitchen in the basement. I wish you luck. I wish you luck. I don't know anybody that finds that pleasing to have their kitchen in the basement.
I'm glad you said that. So like we recently checked out a deal in Canton, 21224, that had it was a three-level house, had the entrance on like basically the bottom floor, and that's where the kitchen was. So what you're saying is in that scenario, you would put the kitchen on the main floor?
So the entrance, there's no exit from the second floor.
They did, but
Wherever the main entrance is, I guess that's your living room. There was no basement, or is that the basement? Was it below ground?
um
Because I know they make townhouses now where everything is like no basement, but it's tall going up.
there was no below ground, you're right. And I want to say the yeah, it was just that entrance was in that like bottom floor.
I would consider
The
that
weird
main
one.
floor then. Like when it's basement, I mean under the foundation, like
Okay,
in
got it.
below ground, because like nowadays I know that there are those townhouses that where they're building everything ground up, and then that top floor is the entire master suite at times.
Hmm.
So at that point, your main floor will be there, then you have a second floor, and you have a top floor. But I know houses where it's a two-level rancher, main entrance is ground level, and in the basement below ground, there's a kitchen.
Got it.
Do whatever you can to get that one back up to the main entrance. Let's put it like that.
All right, cool.
Yeah, but I'm glad you brought that up because it could be confusing, and I don't know anybody that's had success with kitchens in the basement.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
but here's where an opportunity comes about. What is an accent wall, right? I'm sorry to bring that up again. If I just paint one wall a different color, it's an accent wall, with or without the texture or the woodwork. Well, I enjoy seeing brick. I enjoy seeing fireplaces or just the big old chimney or brick area because that's where I will paint that brick black. And this now an accent wall. So that's why I said this opportunity. When I see brick, I get excited because now I'm going to paint it a different color and it's considered an accent wall. But it doesn't stop us from everything because brick paint is a different one than interior paint. So if I'm gonna go buy a gallon of brick paint, or let's just say concrete paint, whatever you want to call it, I get to pick the color at that point. It's still a different purchase, basically. So that's where I see an opportunity when I see things like this. I paint all chimneys black. This is just my philosophy because it looks super clean when you clean out the chimney, paint it all black on the outside and the inside. Those chimneys look really clean.
So you get rid of the actual like fireplace insert?
Yeah. All this stuff goes. I leave it open from there. If you want to buy your own stuff for it, do it. Make it your own. My biggest thing is make it your own at that point.
Got it.
This stuff has to come out, in my opinion, if it's a flip. So
Agreed.
I'm demoing the ceiling here as well. And at times, drop ceilings, I hate to say it, means I'll say about 80% of the time that the wiring, the plumbing is running below the joists. So in order for you to get drywall up, you'll have to rerun all that stuff through the joists. in order to hang the drywall correctly. Or else you have to come up with a way to have a ceiling below the joist. You have to attach it to something, either a drop ceiling, or you're gonna attach wood to the joists that are large, that are like hanging lower than the joist, but also has to hang lower than the tubes. So it's complicated at that point. Let's just do this right behind the ceiling. I mean, below the ceiling. Let's do this right. Let me see what else. Wood panel gotta go. In my opinion, I don't sell flips with wood panels. I know clients that do, uh, but it is what it is. At that point, I'm not going to go for the max ARV in that area in a small house, and then you know cut a corner and just paint the wood panel. I don't personally do it. I know people that do, but I look to get rid of anything that's outdated in that way. The whole house is renovated, but I kept the wood panel. I don't see it aesthetically pleasing.
I do it in the basement. I'll paint it in the basement. But other than
Mm-hmm.
that, you're right.
What's interesting about that, just to touch on it, is I've seen different qualities of wood panel. There are some high quality wood panels. Now, when I see these boards that are like super thin, I have always taken them off because at that point, I don't know. The drop ceiling is going to have a different right here. The drop ceiling is going to have a different height level. There's going to be a gap in between that. So now we got to fix stuff like that. But at times the budget doesn't allow it. By all means, keep the wood panel and even keep the drop ceiling if the budget doesn't allow. But
Yeah, where you and I are different is like I don't like full gut rehabs. I like the lipstick on a pig, in and out. And I try to get in and out in like less than 30 days. So, but as I guess become more experienced, I am more open to these types of flips. But I just know like the bigger the flip, the greater chance of like there being eating into your contingencies or like finding something once you open like up the walls and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I
I
try to get
agree.
as quick as possible.
I agree. And again, sometimes the numbers dictate like it has to be that.
Agreed. But I feel like we're entering a different market where like you have to have like a high quality product and like you have to like gut stuff down to the studs and like replace everything because like it's starting to shift from a seller's market to a buyer's market. Obviously, every market is different, but that's kind of like what I'm feeling here in Maryland.
I see it too. Which at times I think the flipping model of lipstick on a pig or just a quick cut cosmetic renovation works in certain markets versus we don't switch up because it's quality product from the studs up basically. And honestly, because of the volume and honestly being able to use metrics to measure like, oh yeah, these sell compared to, well, this one's going to be light, this one's going to be heavy, this one's going to be light, this one's going to be heavy. We're able to compare. All right, well, we haven't really been hit hard, we haven't stopped, days on the market haven't changed, versus I have friends that do that, and now they're talking about, yeah, it's just sitting and stuff like that. So it's hit or miss, but have to have some form of measurement basically.
Yeah, agreed.
So this is a half bath with a double entry, I think. Or no, that's a full bath. What is this right here? Or is she leaving? We'll see. But oh no, that's a half bath. That's just another entrance somewhere else. Half bath. Okay, quick, about 2 grand, 2 grandish to do that right. I'm definitely gonna LVP that floor. New toilet, new vanity, new light fixture, new mirror, of course, paint job. And yeah, so that's going to be a new one. Um, I'm LVPing all of that. That's just what I do. Baseboard heat. Yeah, there's going to be some ductwork and HVAC upgrading in this house. So
So do you rip out all the baseboard? Heat?
yeah, I rip out all the baseboard heat. At that point, I'm just putting in a new system, running supplies, ductwork how it's supposed to be, and putting in the adequate furnace size. Um, Roughly around 10.5. is usually what you're getting for duct work, around 3,500, and then the machines about 7, including installation. So you're around 10.5 for that. Washer dryer. Here's an interesting thing. I sell flips without washer and dryers. So these are gone, or I'm keeping them as a rental somewhere else.
No matter the price point.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's one of those things where the homeowner has to get it out and then has to order their new ones. Or maybe they already had some washer dryers in their mind that they always wanted. Now, there's a psychology to it that I think it's up and down, but it has worked. If you're buying a $500,000 house, I assume you can buy, your dream washer and dryer. That's what I would assume. And at that price point, I have a little bit more, I would say, respect in the sense of delicate,
Having
or
in their budget.
yeah, or picky in the sense of at that price point, like you will pay for what you want, like on those small items. A washer, dryer, you're talking about a $500,000 house or higher, and that's a $1,200 decision, but you get to pick it and be happy with it. Keep it blank. That's how it's functioned so far.
Right.
So I'm getting
And
those out.
you do that with any other appliances?
Nope. The kitchen appliances stay. Washer and dryer I never add, but we do upgrade the washer and dryer hookups and the water line, so you'll get the nice neat box. The laundry area gets updated, but we don't supply the washer or dryer. Other appliances like kitchen appliances, of course, I'll never advise anyone to sell a kitchen without appliances ever. On a flip, I also don't think you should take the risk of buying clean used ones. I think you should always go with your double door or French door appliance package new. I don't think it's worth the risk to save a couple $100. But what
I
other appliances will usually
I
be?
sold one flip during COVID that didn't have a fridge in it, and I just gave him like $1,000 credit towards it.
Yeah, hey, they got the pick. That kind of goes into the dryer thing, but I don't think you would try that in this market.
No, not at all. And the reason I sold it without it is because like during COVID we had like supply chain issues, and
Yeah,
the when I put the fridge, the initial fridge in the kitchen, it should have been counter depth, and I didn't know that, and it like blocked off like the whole kitchen. It looked awful. So ended up pulling it out, and then when we went to try to find a counter depth fridge, couldn't find one. So
yeah,
just went ahead and
always
listed
bust
without it,
up.
and it made the kitchen look bigger. So it benefited me in that regard, but. We even put like in the listing, we'll give you $1,000 credit towards the fridge.
Hey, yeah, you had to compensate for that one, but it worked out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think there are any other appliances that go in the houses,
Yeah.
but those would just be it. Okay, so I see. This is what I like to see as well. What I've learned also is like when a lender is going to lend on the house, somebody's going to buy it. Anything that's on that property, it's prone to inspection, and the lender can tell you at any moment to fix it, whether it's an old shed, small shed, or this carport slash garage in the back. If it's on the property, the lender can tell you fix it, and there's no negotiations with the lender. So
And when you say the lender, you mean the buyer's lender, correct?
the buyer's lender, correct. Look at this brickwork. I like to bring up brickwork. Most of the time, I think sweet spot is brick. When a house is brick, sweet spot. It just promotes strength, durability. This kind of stuff on bricks, I wouldn't waste any thought on it. Yes, it's a dirty brick. Okay, call a power washer. If it doesn't come out, it's still brick. And maybe people think, oh, yo, what are you talking about? Like sparkle it all up. Again, will that make or break the sale? I don't believe it will. It's a dirty area of brick. Like try to get it off, give the whole house a quick power wash. After that, I would not go spend thousands of dollars to paint the entire brick house. Because I know people that just want the entire house to be brand spanking new interior, exterior, and they go above and beyond, and now your numbers don't work. Brick, usually power wash it, leave it alone. It sells itself. That's my experience. So here I wouldn't even worry about brick or siding. I think that's a wire. Solid right here. I see a handrail. This retaining wall / handrail looks good. Stairs look solid. This would get a paint job. Why? Because appraisers are coming out, chip paint, dark marks around concrete or floor area, they automatically think it's water intrusion, or they think it's lead paint. Paint it up. I'm not saying to hide anything. If there is an issue, take care of it. But regardless, freshen that area up. You don't want anything to come back as possible water intrusion or possible lead or poisonous or mold. Who knows, right? Again, I'm not telling you to cover it up. I'm telling you to take care of it if you see it, but don't leave it untouched. Freshen that area up. The utility room, freshen it up, and this exterior wall area, stair area, freshen it up. You just don't want to look like you cut corners or you went extremely cheap or you just don't care. That's a big thing. Don't make it look like you just don't care. So I would budget about $500 to freshen this area up, and I feel like you should do it. Now this looks like a 6-foot storage area,
Yeah, agreed.
and it looks like there's no interior access, so you have to go in through the outside. I don't think this is a livable area. So here, what we will do, these look like they have some white marks, possible mold or water or humid problems. I'm spraying it all black, all the joists. We're remediating it, and I'm spraying it. The walls look like they were freshened up, but we have to clean all this out, see what's wrong with it. I see exposed foundation here. Of course, analyze that, inspect it, and then we're painting it. Just make everything look fresh at that point.
All right, so I had this issue with a place in Pasadena where they looks like the wall was similar where I think there was some kind of foundation issue, and then they put up this extra concrete. What's that like? It's not called a retaining wall.
Just supporting wall.
Yeah, it was like a yeah, I just can't remember the exact term, but I guess supporting wall works.
Yeah, at that point, that's what it is. Is because the foundation wall is out here, but they just wanted another like brace, basically, another
Yeah.
wall to help support the foundation at that point.
Yep.
But it could even be something for ventilation. Who knows why they made it this way, honestly. Yeah,
And then so when you're going in here, you're just cleaning it out, painting the walls, and calling it a day.
painting the walls and the floor, cleaning it out, painting the walls, spraying the joists. I'm freshening it up. What I want the buyers to keep in their mind is this place is clean. This looks like quality work, and a paint job is not breaking the bank. Is it making or breaking the sale? I would argue